I wish I could have this time back. Fucking can't believe I watched this movie. Holy shit. Ah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Ajax Reviews. Today we review Spring Break Massacre. Directed by Michael Hoffman Jr., a spring break sleepover party turns deadly for six beautiful sorority sisters when a convicted serial killer escapes from a maximum security prison. So, the other night I was just fucking off on Tubi. I was scrolling, seeing if there was anything that I'd seen or wanted to see or wanted to review, and I came across Spring Break Massacre. And immediately I'm like, is this part of the Slumber Party Massacre series or the Sorority House Massacre series? Because the poster looked very similar. It was the girls between the killer's legs and then a knife, you know. I'm like, fuck, dude, that looks exactly, you know, how the Massacre series movies look. And so I looked up and I saw the cast and I recognized two names right out of the gate. Reggie Bannister and Linnea Quigley. I'm a huge Linnea Quigley fan. I named my dog Quigley. Just, you know, for context. So I'm like, well, I'd like to watch this. And my daughter's like, can we watch it? I'm like, no. Because to me, it looks like it's a part of the Slumber Party Massacre series or the Sorority House Massacre series. And those movies have two things. Tits and fucking. And my daughter's 13. And I'm like, no. Not going to happen. And then I saw that Linnea Quigley was in it, and I'm like, well, shit, everything that Linnea's in, like, her tits are out. So definitely not. And so I watched this movie. Now, my experience with the Massacre movies is I've enjoyed all of them, even the bad ones. I even have one called Cheerleader Massacre. I'm not sure if it's a part of the series or not, but it's one that I downloaded a long time ago. And I even watched that one and enjoyed it for what it's worth. But this movie, let's get into the review. How about that?
Is that crack?
No, just crystal meth. It's all the rage at school.
Now, I typically stay away from judging movies based on their quality, their budget, things like this. But when the movie looks like it was filmed on a 1990s home camcorder, it's kind of hard not to judge based on that. Now, the quality in this movie is so bad that I could actually shoot higher quality video with my kid's obsolete starter tablet. You know, one of those leapfrog tablets. Yeah, I can record a higher quality movie using that. I mean, most of the shots looked out of focus, and I don't think they even considered attempting any sort of color grading. And if they did, holy shit, I'd hate to see what it looked like prior to that. All right, but enough about that. So aside from the quality, what did I actually think? Well, I think I stumbled onto a horrible attempt at a horror movie that I actually made it all the way through. I almost turned it off in the first 10 minutes. I almost turned it off because the acting was so bad. But here's the funny thing. It was just the male actors that made it bad. It was just the male actors that were either overacting or underacting. They were fucking terrible, man. That's all I can say. It was bad. Holy shit. The girls did a good job. It's usually the other way around. No, I'm not trying to sound, boys versus girls, but sometimes, when it's a tit movie, like I said in another review, usually if the girls are showing their boobs and shit, their acting is bad. These girls, no. These girls acted fairly well. There was like a couple cringy parts, but for the most part, dude, the cringe went to the dudes. That was all cringe. It was fucking terrible. Now, anybody that knows me knows that it's going to be a rare thing where I'm watching a movie with girls showing their boobs and I haven't spent 5 minutes talking about it. That's because no amount of decent looking girls or boobs could have possibly saved this movie.
I've got your mail.
Thanks. Was it delivered to your house by mistake?
No, it was in your mailbox.
Then there was the lack of story, or whatever the hell that was. Like, would you call that a story? I wouldn't call that a story. I don't know what the hell I would call that. Now it's time to talk about the things that I liked. The girls acting. And boobs. I hope you're not waiting for more, because there's no more. There's fucking no more. There wasn't even a cool looking car in the fucking movie. Let's just say that. There was nothing cool about this movie. Now let's talk about the things that I disliked. This could take a minute. So I'll just start with this. The quality. Holy shit, the quality. Man, you have a focus ring on your camera. That's first and foremost. Number two, this movie came out in the 2000s. What the hell are you doing recording with a camcorder that takes like a full-size VHS tape? And if you didn't record on that, whoever rendered this movie should have both their legs broken and dropped off a building. I mean, seriously. I've seen 1970s low-budget horror movies with better quality than this. And that's sad. Another thing, which I really didn't touch on during the review, is the camera was just shaky. Like, you do know that there's a thing called a Steadicam, right? And if you can't afford a Steadicam, you can build one for like $15 using a pole and a weight, some other shit. And if you don't have $15, you set the camera on top of something. Whether it's a tripod, a stack of books, something, man. The camera doesn't need to be shaken constantly. Like, what the hell? It was bad. Now, some of the scene transitions were just so horrible. I honestly think, going back and seeing stuff from this movie, that the movie was edited using Windows Movie Maker. Because it has those transitions, like, you know, there's a scene and then it just goes up and then pulls up the next scene, or goes left to right. That's all that there were as far as transitions. There was nothing good. If you don't have good transitions, don't fucking use those types of transitions. Just use fade-ins, fade-outs, overlays and shit. I mean, I've made 3 movies my entire life, and I fucking would never, never hire a person like Linnea, Quigley, or Reggie Bannister, put them in a movie this bad. Never. Fuck no. Again, all the male actors were just fucking terrible. Overacted. Just fake. Just, I don't know, man. It's something about, I would never hire any of those fucking guys. Another thing I didn't like was the effects, because there really wasn't any. I mean, there was, but it was bad. So I would prefer that there wasn't any. Another thing that I really didn't like, and I didn't get either, is the last quarter of this movie jumps around. Now, when I say jumps around, usually something will go back in the past and it'll explain the story. No, this fucking jumps to the last scene. So you have everybody still pretty much fucking alive, and they're in the house, and then it cuts to the fucking end of the movie where only the main girl is alive and everybody else is fucking dead and her face is all jacked up and she's talking about shit. And I'm just sitting there going, well, that's good to know. It's good to know that everybody died. Like, thanks for fucking ruining the movie for me, movie. And so then it jumps back, and then it picks up where it left off, and then it jumps forward again just so she can say like one fucking line in the end of the movie, and then jumps back again to present. So it just goes from present to end over and over again, trying to tell this story, and it didn't make a fucking single point. Whatever point it tried to make was completely moot. I know this is a long list, but I got 2 more things. The kills. The kills were shit. Absolute shit. And the plot twist, if you want to call it fucking that. The plot twist was just awful. It was like, oh my God, really? Like, I would have preferred if, like, you continued on the path you were going and the guy that escaped from the fucking prison was the killer, but no, it's the girl's dad, and he broke the killer out just so he could kill his fucking daughter and her friends because they're whores. I don't know, dude. Like, I didn't get it. It was so bad. Like, if you like this type of shit, go watch it, man. But, I mean, maybe if I go back and I'm intoxicated, I don't know what's legal and what, you know, to say on YouTube. In the state that I'm in, it's legal. So to be intoxicated and watch this, maybe I should do that. But fuck that, man. Like, I've already seen it once. I don't need to see it again. So in conclusion, would I recommend this movie? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I feel like it's my duty to fucking save you guys from having to sit through this piece of shit. This is terrible. Oh, and just so you know, I didn't mention a whole lot about Reggie Bannister or Linnea Quigley in this movie, so let me fucking throw some spoilers out there. Linnea Quigley dies in a car. She's a cop. She just goes to, she talks to Reggie and then goes and sits in the car and fucking dies. And then Reggie Bannister, all he fucking does is smoke cigarettes. I fucking shit you not. That's literally it. And so with that being said, I'm going to give this movie a 1.nothing. A 1 out of 5. And a strong fucking warning. Don't watch this fucking movie. It's terrible. Oh, man. Until next time, guys. Stay smart. Stay clean. Keep the dream. Don't let the man get you down, because if he does, just don't watch this, please. Don't watch this fucking movie. Or watch it. Comment below. I don't give a shit.